Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. If you've never been here before, my name is Trent and I appreciate you coming to watch this video. If you have been here before, I appreciate you coming back. Today we're going to talk about broadhead selection for bow hunting. And I'm going to go ahead and give you a bow hunter's trigger warning right off the bat. My lists of good, bad, and honorable mentions will probably not be the same as your list of good, bad, and honorable mention, and that's okay. Just shoot what you're confident in. As long as it's doing what you need it to do, shoot it. Even if I don't like it. My opinion doesn't really matter that much. I will also say the information I have gathered to create this list comes from my personal testing, from the testing of others, from talking to hunters who have experience with these broadheads in the woods, killing animals, good things that went wrong, bad things that went wrong, everything in between. So this is gathered from not only my mind, but the mind of many, many bow hunters from all over the US and world, people that I've spent a lot of time talking to because I want to learn about broadheads. Now, let me tell you how this is formatted. I have six broadheads that I would recommend. I have 2 honorable mentions to that category, and then I have 3 broadheads that I would say, nah, don't really look at them. Yeah. Now again, personal preference, but these broadheads are not going to be put in any specific order. So it's not going to be the first one I show you is the worst and the last one is the best, or vice versa, or anything like that. I'm just going to show you them. I'm going to tell you why they are, where they are in the lists, or which list they're on at least, and you can draw your own conclusions from there. So without further ado, let's get started into the broadheads that I recommend. We're going to start with this fella right here. Now the top piece might look familiar. That's a Magnus Black Hornet, but that's not what this is about. This right here is what this is about. This is a True Blue Broadheads Crossbreed. Now it's very weird. I know what you're thinking. Why is there a Magnus screwed in the front of that? Well, the Crossbreed was designed to be able to screw in other broadheads to build a hybrid broadhead. I don't really call the Crossbreed a broadhead as much as I call it a lethality adder. Now, mind you, if you order the Crossbreeds, they do come with a 25 grain chisel tip already installed, so you can shoot it as a 2-blade over-the-top mechanical broadhead if you would like. However, you can take that out and screw in standard broadheads, which is what I've done here and my preferred way to shoot it. This whole combination weighs 200 grains, 100 grain Magnus, 100 grain Crossbreed. I like it because of that. I like that it's a mechanical broadhead that weighs so much. Another really big thing for me and the Crossbreed is these tied for the sharpest blades that I have ever tested out of the package. It tied with iron will, and I hold iron will in a high standing. It's a very, very good broadhead. So seeing a mechanical with blades that sharp is fantastic. Now, I do have a discount code. I've done some stuff with Crossbreed in the past. They've been nice enough to give me a discount code to give you guys if you're interested in ordering them and trying them out. It'll be in the description, just for the record. If you, again, are interested, it's down there to save you a little bit of money. The Crossbreed is something I've killed a deer with last year. I will use them again this year, I'm sure, with no doubt. So, definitely on the recommendation list for me. Ow, that's sharp. Okay, now, since I've already touched on the Magnus Black Hornet, let's talk about the Magnus Black Hornet. Now, Magnus is a fantastic company that's been around for a long time, and they make a really high quality product for a really competitive price. Matter of fact, $39.99 or 40 bucks for a 3-pack, which is about industry standard, and these heads are, generally speaking, above and beyond anything else you're going to pull out of the package. I particularly like the Black Hornet for a few reasons. One, it's short and compact. So guys that aren't the best at tuning, guys that don't have the best tune, they could potentially find good flight out of this broadhead, even not having the most perfect tune. Another thing is the short and compact broadheads tend to be stronger, and the triangular shape is a big boon to the strength of this broadhead overall, as well as the ferrule going up a good portion of the main blade. So this is quite the durable broadhead. I also really like the bleeder blades on it. Another thing is this broadhead is one of the sharpest out of the package that you're going to buy in that price range. Now, it doesn't meet my standards for testing, but it is very close, and it does far exceed what most other broadheads are doing right out of the package. So again, overall, I think the Black Hornet is a fantastic broadhead. They make a serrated version as well. I have no real preference. I used to like the serrated version, honestly, because I thought it looked cooler, but they really are both going to perform. You will probably see a little less penetration out of the serrated version. It shouldn't be significant, but if you're a low poundage shooter, I would recommend going this route with the standard blades and not the serrated. And that's another great thing about this broadhead. It's something that a 40-pound bow shooter and a 80-pound bow shooter can both shoot and be plenty lethal with. Let's move on to the next broadhead. We'll go mechanical. This is the Grim Reaper Whitetail Special. Now, Grim Reapers, I have a long history with. Long before I was regularly doing YouTube reviews, I was shooting Grim Reapers, particularly the Whitetail Special. Not the pro version like this, but the razor tip. And I had some really nasty blood trails with this broadhead. I mean, just gross. I mean, in the best way. So this is a broadhead that I do really highly recommend. It is not going to be the most durable broadhead in the world because of long thin blades, long thin ferrule. I do get better durability out of the Pro Series ferrules than I do the standard razor cut and razor tips, but lo and behold, it still has those integrity issues. So I consider the Grim Reaper Whitetail Special a one and done, and if I get more than one out of it, fantastic. The blades are definitely going to be sharpened if you shoot it into an animal or replaced, so always make sure you're doing that before you shoot it into something else. This kind of covers the really large cut category for me, having a 2-inch cut and 3 blades, whereas the Crossbreed covers, it's still a large cut. It's 2 inches with 2 blades plus whatever the broadhead you put on front is, but to me it's a little different. That covers kind of my hybrid, whereas this is a full-blown mech. Let's go with this guy next. This is the Ramcat Diamondback. This broadhead just recently came on my radar. I just recently did testing for this. And when I say I'm impressed, I mean I am impressed. The wound channel, and I particularly like the 125 grain version because it has a 1.5 inch cut. The wound channel on this thing has one of the most intense and insane spirals I have ever seen from any broadhead, probably the most, and it blew me away. Now, out of pocket sharpness it left some to be desired, but I can sharpen broadheads, and I'm going to definitely sharpen these. It's a short, stout ferrule again. The blades didn't show any structural integrity issues in my testing, and I've not heard any issues from anybody else about the broadhead having broken blades, but it is a concern of mine. So I would probably try to keep some extra heads on hand and or have replacement blades in the 125 1.5 inch cut version. But overall, a fantastic head. It flew great. It's got that great wound channel and a short, stout ferrule, which means if anything breaks, it's going to be the blades. After that, we'll get into these. This is the Kudu Contour. Now, I have shot the Contour Plus in the past. I have not tested them, but I have shot them. I have killed animals, or killed an animal with them. And I was impressed. It flies great. It's a great head. Penetration is obviously no issue whatsoever. Being single bevel, you do get the rotation. And this is one of those heads that's in the 100 and 125 grain weight. That's single bevel. There's not a whole ton of those on the market, but this head does fit that category in both the Contour and the Contour Plus. This happens to be the 125 version. It has a little bit wider cut. Overall, it's exactly what I would expect out of a 2-blade single bevel, and it's in a weight that's more comfortable for most bow hunters. Now, I have 2 arrow setups. One I shoot a 200 grain head on, one I shoot a 100 grain head on, so I can accommodate both heavy and light heads, particularly for testing, but also in the hunting woods. And this broadhead, I really think, is a great option to hit that lightweight, single bevel, quality, durable. It checks all those categories. So if that's what you're after, if you're after a single bevel that is durable and it's lightweight or lighter weight on the lower scale, 120, 125, 100. They have a 150 version also, but if you're looking for that, look no further, I believe, than the Kudu. And last, but most definitely not least, is Iron Will. And the first objection everybody has to these things is how expensive they are, and trust me, I get it. I launched one accidentally, threw my target into a cinder block, and absolutely destroyed the broadhead. No fault of the broadhead. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything to survive a cinder block after blowing through a target like that, but it really hurt. I bought these used. I bought a set of 3 used for, I don't remember, 85 or 90 bucks, but basically 30 bucks a broadhead, and it really hurts to watch $30 go poof up in smoke. So I get that, but the materials this broadhead is crafted with are insane. It is just the highest materials you can find. Bill, the gentleman that owns the company, did a ton of research to find the perfect blade profile. I mean, it's really a well thought out design that is done extremely well for somebody who wants the top of the line. This is that broadhead to me. I will definitely be hunting with these this year, and honestly, you may have just seen the lineup for my quiver this season. I may change a few things out just because I have past experience with them and I like to try new stuff, but all of these broadheads are fantastic options. Now let's talk about the worst broadheads, in my opinion, and broadheads that you should avoid. We'll start right here. And I'm not going to make any friends from this because when I posted the review on TikTok and YouTube both, I didn't make any friends. This is the G5 Mega Meat. I don't care for this broadhead. In my testing, the blades did not open up. And I was told it's because I didn't have leather in front of the ballistics gel. But my retort to that is, I have shot many broadheads into the ballistics gel without leather, and they have opened just fine. I don't think this one should have an excuse when everything else is performing well. To take that a step further, or rather, because of that test, however, I have started putting leather in front of the ballistics gel, honestly, to appease a lot of the people that watch my videos, but I've also figured out that it does a great job of showing what an entry wound could potentially look like. And that's a nice little added portion to the testing. Now, the biggest reason I don't like this broadhead is because it didn't open in my testing. This is a 3-blade 2-inch mechanical. It should have a massive cut, and it didn't open at all. The gel kept it closed, and that's just not acceptable when so many other broadheads have done well. I've also seen videos where the people have broken blades off these, and I have a broadhead that I have broken a blade off of, and that would be why I have 2 of these left versus 3. So the durability on the blades is not great. I don't trust the opening ability. To me, this is an avoid all day long. Next broadhead on that list is one that I vehemently loathe. I hate this broadhead. I hate that it exists. I hate that people consider shooting it at big game. It's Cold Steel Sheep Shot. It's a polymer broadhead. First of all, you need to check the legality in your state to see if you can even shoot this at animals, because it's not legal here in Illinois to shoot at least large game. I'm sure it would be okay for a small game head, but I'd have to check on that. And that's the only thing I'd ever use this for. I would shoot this at rabbits. I would shoot it at coyotes, maybe would be a great option. Squirrels, pheasants out of the air. Nothing else. No big game ever. This broadhead is terrible, and I'm going to show you why I hate this broadhead so much. That's why. I'm gonna have to take a knife and get that out now. That's ridiculous. And the last broadhead that I would say pass on, I don't actually have with me, but it is the G5 Montec. The only thing I don't like about the G5 Montec is their dull. That's it. I mean, it's a great broadhead, it's a good design, it's structurally strong, especially the new M3 version that's full metal. They're just dull out of the package. And even with a fair amount of sharpening, they don't get as sharp as other options because of the bevel angle on the blades. So that would be my third one. Now let's talk about some honorable mentions. First on the honorable mention list is the Afflictor K2 fixed broadhead. Why does this hit honorable mention? Well, there's 2 main reasons. One, I've tested this and it was not very sharp out of the package. And also the edges on the blades didn't retain their edge very well. There was a lot of chattering and things like that. But it goes on the honorable mention list because if you can sharpen, this would be a phenomenal broadhead. It is durable, it is stout, it is cut on contact. It is a really fantastic option for those people that are willing to sit down and sharpen it. So it's definitely an honorable mention. And my last honorable mention is the Black Widow Recluse. This is a 4-blade broadhead that has, I'm going to take these out of the package so you can see them better because I am actually very excited to test these and shoot these this year. Maybe I'm going to take them out if I can do it without cutting myself. Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen. Oh, well, I lost some pieces. These are 4-blade broadheads that have an A2 tool steel ferrule, so they are durable. I love that. Also, what's really cool is it comes with 100 grain tips installed, and then it actually comes with 25 grain tips, I'm assuming, to turn it into a 125 grain broadhead. So for the price of 1 pack of broadheads, you technically get the option of 100 or 125. So you could, I mean, technically have 6 broadheads total. Now, again, I've not done any testing on these, and part of the reason why they land in my honorable mention category and not my recommendation category is because not only have I not done much testing, I've not seen much testing done, and I haven't talked to a lot of people that have used them. This is a Canadian company, and it's not widely distributed in the US. I really think they're going to do very well, though, and I would like to see them expand into the US more. I also dumped all the tips for these, so I'm going to have to find those in a minute. So, what did you guys think of my list? Hate on me in the comments, love on me in the comments, have a conversation with me in the comments. That's what I'm really after. Let's talk about why you agree or disagree, or broadheads you would switch out or switch in, and let's just talk. That's what I really want to do here, is have a community where we can discuss things openly and comfortably and not hate each other for our opinions. Also, I'd love to know what you're shooting this season. Did it make my list? Did it not make my list? Should it have made my list? Let's have a good good conversation and really good interactions, shall we? I think we shall. Well guys, that really covers it. Oh, excuse me. That really covers it for this video. I'm so glad that you have watched. This is long-winded. Goodness, this is long-winded, but I think there's some good information here and some good things to talk about and think about when you're selecting a broadhead for this season. I appreciate you guys so much for watching, and I will catch you on the next one. Peace.